You're watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks with Mike and Maria Keiser. Because sometimes you feel like your business is being held together by duct tape and popsicle sticks. On this show, you're not going to hear the latest business fad. You're going to get useful information that you can apply to your own business right now.
Hello and thanks for watching another amazing episode of Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks. I'm Mike Keiser, along with a woman who likes to spend her time trying to put M&Ms into alphabetical order, Maria Keiser. Come on.
You are not a well man.
I try.
As said by a famous person, you are not a well man.
But I try. But thank you for pointing that out to everybody that watches our videos. And everybody, thanks a million for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. As usual, everything you need to know is in the show notes below. How to reach us, how to get to our other videos, our old podcasts, all that jazz. But in the meantime, I want to just jump in because we've seen something happen a few times recently, and you said, boy, we need to do a show about this. And the truth of the matter is, no matter who you are, no matter what business you're in, it's inevitable you're going to get a negative review or two online. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to really upset you. If it's already happened to you, it has already really upset you.
Right.
And it's an emotional thing. Like, we take it personally. Like, how dare they not think we were awesome and point it out to the whole world. And that's how it makes you feel when you get a negative review. So short of responding with venom and fire and emotion, what's a good way? Because you've been counseling people on this recently.
So, it's an emotional thing for you to receive that, but also, for a second, put yourself in the other person's shoes. It's obviously emotional enough for them to have posted such a thing.
Right.
So they're in an emotional state also. So the best number one way to respond is without emotion. So before you write out what you're feeling, say it out loud, write it down exactly the way you want to say it, and then write the review that is appropriate for the response. And, when I say reply without emotion, that doesn't mean that you need to kowtow. It just means you need to reply with the facts. I'm sorry, Sally, that you were upset with the way it all turned out. However, we arrived, 10 minutes early. We called ahead, and because the door was locked, we could not get in. Just in a response that states the facts but doesn't accuse the other person of anything so they don't push back, because the worst thing you want is to then reply with venom and they're going to reply again, and then it becomes a war and it looks really bad.
And we just recently saw the opposite, though, with a client, that a client responded not necessarily in an apologetic way, more just the facts.
Right.
The buyer, his customer, actually ended up apologizing and taking down that negative review.
Right.
So that's what that can do for you.
Yeah. And respond quickly. So I know it's emotional for you, but work hard to get past that. Reply as quickly as you can. Follow it up with a phone call if you can. Do whatever you can to make that to quell that, because a lot of times when people are posting something like that, they're really just looking for some type of acknowledgement. So maybe they weren't loved by their mother and now they need love from you. I mean, for whatever reason. And yes, sometimes it can be something that they will take off if you acknowledge them. In addition to that, seek out other reviews to counter that bad review. So, think about yourself when you're looking online. If you see a company has 50 bad reviews, you're not going to use them. But if they have a couple of bad reviews, but they have a whole lot of good reviews, and you've responded in a mature, professional way, people will tend to overlook that and look at it for what it is.
And when you say seek out other reviews, I think we even mean like actively solicit them.
Right.
Go to your happy clients and say, please put a review on Google or on wherever it might be.
Right.
So seeking them means like pursuing them, because that's exactly right. Those law of averages are going to boost your rating on the Google reviews quite a bit.
And another thing, and this is something that's happened to people also, sometimes people are just, they have nothing else better to do. So
Right.
if you have lots of customers, go through your records. Make sure the person who's posting a bad review is actually one of your customers. Because they could have made a mistake, or maybe they just, decided just for fun to put a bad review for
Or maybe they're a competitor
Yeah.
that created a profile and put a bad review.
Right.
Exactly. So, right. I know that sounds silly in a way, but make sure they were really a customer.
you. Right.
Yeah. And then finally, let's say the reviews are
Legitimate.
legitimate. Right. So,
If they're legitimate, then maybe this is your calling to do a better job. Maybe sometimes we just need that good kick in the pants, and we've all gotten our kick in the pants, so it's not a judgment. But, look at your process. Are you really doing what you say you're going to do, or are these complaints real?
well, right. So after you get through boy, that customer was always a jerk. I couldn't stand them anyway. I'm glad they were gone, but how dare they write that review? Then take a good look at yourself
right.
and see, does it have anything to do with us? And that's kind of it, right? I mean, there's not a lot. You can't remove them. People ask about how you can bury things online.
You can, Google will remove a bad review but it's like, you got to go through the red tape. It takes a long time. So for the short term, and there's not even a guarantee that will happen, but for the short term, if you follow these steps and you do provide a good product and you do respond and you do acknowledge, you should be okay.
Right. And if you never get a bad review online, then you're pretty awesome.
Yep.
Right. So you got anything else before we let it go?
Nothing else.
Well, perfect. So yes, this has come up a lot lately, so it might come up for you. So once again, thanks a million for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your feedback. We've been getting more subscribers and more views on YouTube, so we really appreciate that as well. Tell your friends. But in the meantime, you've been watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks, where we make your business better 3 minutes at a time.
Ciao for now.
You're watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks with Mike and Maria Keiser.